Hey, welcome back to Weeby Kids. Now, I've come up in the woods today to tell you a story, but this isn't just a story. I'm also here to invite you onto a quest as well. You see, for many, many, many years, I've been on this special quest. 60 years ago, I learnt about it when I was a small boy of just 6. I was off wandering through a forest like this one, and I met a man with a long white beard and long white hair, and a cream cloak and a string with a silver acorn. And he told me this story. It's a story that I want to tell you. But if I tell you, you have to agree to join me on my quest. A quest that I have been on all of my life. Do we agree? Okay, then here we go. Now, a long time ago, when this wizard was only a boy, he used to walk these hills and he used to wander through the forest. But the forest looked very different to how it does today. The trees in this forest were way, way, way taller, and they were much wider too. They were so wide that 15 people holding hands wouldn't be able to fit around them. The tops of them disappeared into the clouds. But at the bottom of the trees was very, very, very tall grass. And in the tall grass were beautiful flowers of all different colours. And on the flowers were bees and wasps and dragonflies and butterflies. But if you grabbed hold of the grass and you pulled it back and you peered deep down into the forest, you could see all kinds of creatures too. There were mice and hedgehogs and squirrels and bats, and woodpeckers and fox and rabbit and badger and bear and wolf. But it wasn't just insects and animals and plants and trees that lived in this forest. There was also a lady, a very, very magical lady. This lady was very, very, very tall, much taller than me, but not as tall as the trees. She had big red bushy hair that came all the way down her back. Some people said that her hair was so bushy that some of the birds would nest inside it. Can you imagine that? Birds nesting in your hair. This lady also wore a long green cloak that went all the way down to the ground. And nobody ever saw her feet. Some people said she didn't have feet because she would just glide through the forest, never leaving a single footprint behind. And this lady had many, many magical powers. She had the power to talk to the trees and the trees could talk back to her. She had the power to talk to the animals and the animals would talk back too. She had the power to control the weather. She decided when the sun would shine, when the rain would fall, when the winds would blow, when the snow would come. She even had the power to decide when it was daytime and when it was nighttime. And the reason why she had all these powers? Well, on this finger, she wore a ring. A very, very, very special ring. A ring like no other. It was all the colours of the rainbow and some colours that we've even forgotten today. In the daytime, it would shine like the sun. And in the night, it would sparkle like the stars. And this ring was made of a very, very precious metal. And when the lady rubbed the ring, it is said that the magic was released with a magical sound. Now the lady kept this ring very, very safe. She knew how important it was. She knew that if it got into the wrong hands, all kinds of terrible things could happen. She knew that if somebody took it and made it rain and rain and rain, there would be floods. Or if they made the sun so bright for so long, there would be droughts. Huge winds would topple the forest, and snow, too much snow, would lock us in an ice age. The lady knew that she had to keep the ring safe and keep everything in perfect balance. So she never ever took the ring off until one day. One day the lady was gliding through the forest, and a little robin redbreast came down, and it landed on her shoulder, and it began to speak to her. It said, "Lady of the forest, lady of the ring, take care of the ring, for somebody is looking for it, and somebody wants to steal it." Now the lady was shocked. Who would steal the ring, and what would they do? But the robin explained. He said, "There is a short man about this high. He has a long, crooked chin and a pointed nose. He wears a purple cloak with a big hood. And he's looking for the ring because the sunshine hurts his eyes, and he wants to steal the ring and turn the world into a forever night where there's never any sunrise and never any sunset, just always pitch black." Now the lady knew how bad this would be. For if there was never any daytime, there wouldn't be any sunshine. And if there is no sunshine, then nothing will grow. And if nothing will grow, then there will be nothing to eat. And with nothing to eat, all the creatures of the forest would perish. So the lady called a meeting of all the forest creatures together. And they all sat around in a huge open glade. And the lady of the forest began to explain. She said, "Creatures of the forest, somebody is looking for the ring. Somebody wants to steal it for themselves." She said, "Creatures of the forest, will you help me protect the ring?" And the creatures of the forest said yes. She said, "Creatures of the treetops, like the squirrels and the owls and the woodpeckers." She said, "Will you take the ring and hide it way, way up at the tops of the trees?" But the creatures of the treetops looked at each other, and they said no, for they were too afraid of the man. They said, "Keep the ring. We don't want him digging through our nests and digging through our drays. You keep it to yourself." So the lady of the forest said to the creatures from underground, like the fox and the badger and the rabbit and the mole and the worm, and she said, "Creatures of the forest, creatures with the underground homes, will you take the ring and hide it deep, deep down?" They all looked at each other, and they said, "No, we can't take it. We are afraid of the small man. He will come digging through our homes and steal the ring." So the lady took a deep breath. And with a tear in her eye, she stood up and she headed off into the forest. And she wasn't gone for long. But when she returned, the magical ring was gone. The creatures of the forest said, "Lady, what have you done with the ring? You know how important it is." And the lady replied, she said, "Because you wouldn't help me. Because you wouldn't take the ring and hide it, I have had to hide it for myself. Somewhere here. Somewhere in this forest." And we know that still to this very day, that ring is hidden. We know because last night when you went to bed, it went dark. And this morning when you woke, it came light again. And as long as there is day and night and dark and light, then the ring is hidden. But I've been on a quest looking for this ring for many, 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 many years. I have searched high and low, but I still can't find it. which is why I'm telling you this story. I need your help. Next time when you're out on a walk or on an adventure, promise me that you'll look for the ring. Remember, it is all the colours of the rainbow and more. If you're out in the day, it will be shining like the sun, and at night it will be sparkling like the stars. And listen carefully, for the ring will call out its magic call. Enjoy your adventure. Find the ring. Let me know how you get on. See you again next time.